This graphing calculator video follows along with Roman numeral 3 on the graphing calculator worksheet. I will be showing the keystrokes that will work for both the TI-83 and the TI-84s here. So we're working on calculating zeros. So we want to calculate the x-intercepts of the curve y equals 0.5x cubed minus 20x squared plus 5x plus 100. So we'll start by graphing this curve. You may have this curve in your y equals if you watched a previous video, but if not, you'll need to go ahead and type in our curve. 0.5x cubed minus 20x squared plus 5x plus 100. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you a window to see this curve. If you need help adjusting your window, then you'll want to watch one of the previous videos that talks about how to find the correct window. But let's go ahead and use this window. X minimum, negative 10, X maximum, 50, and your Y minimum, negative 200, and Y maximum, 200. You can leave both the X scale and the Y scale to be 1s. If you want to adjust those, you can. And hit your graph button in the upper right hand corner. Now we expect this curve to be a nice S shape. We're not going to see the entire curve here because of the window that I've chosen, but I've chosen a window that does allow us to see the 3 x-intercepts, and these are the points we're interested in calculating. So remember, when we're calculating an x-intercept, we're looking for the x value when the y value is equal to 0. So above your trace key, it says calc, and this is your calculate menu. So go second, trace, pulls up your calculate menu, and you'll notice the second option is 0. So choose number 2. And you should be prompted with the question, left bound. So we need to move the cursor to the left of the point we want. Let's begin with this x-intercept that's farthest to the left. So you'll notice right now I don't see the cursor anywhere on my curve. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see right now where the cursor is. We have x equals 20 and y equals negative 3,800 for my particular calculator. So the reason I'm not seeing the cursor, or sometimes I call it the bug, the blinking bug, I'm not seeing it because it's at a y value of negative 3,800. So we're going to use our right and left arrow keys to move the cursor right and left. I'm going to go ahead and move my cursor to the left. And you can see as I'm moving left, I don't see the cursor yet in my window, but I can see my x values are getting smaller because I'm moving left along the curve. So you have two options. You can move along the curve using the arrows, or, and you can see here, finally I see the cursor, or if you knew approximately what this x-intercept was, you could go ahead and type in a value that would be to the left of that point. So looking at my tick marks here, I see, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. I could, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and say type in negative 4 and press enter. And what's going to happen is it's automatically going to move my cursor to negative 4. And it's going to draw a line here for my left bound. So again, you can either use your arrows left and right to trace along the curve until you're clearly to the left of the point you want. Or if you have an idea of where that point is, you could just type in your x value. Now at x equals negative 4, my y value is negative 272, so you can see it's way down, it's off my screen, but that's okay. You still see this vertical line, you also see this little arrow showing that you have chosen the left bound. We've chosen a value that is to the left of this x-intercept that we want to calculate. So now right bound, we need to arrow to the right until we move the cursor to the right of the point we're looking for. So because my x-intercept is right here, you can see that right now my cursor is to the right of that x-intercept. You could even go one step further if you wanted to. And again, you can take a look at your y value here and see that indeed we are above the x-axis. My y value is 54. And press enter. So basically we've chosen a left bound and a right bound so that the x-intercept lies in between these two values. And so for the guess, as long as there's only one x-intercept in this region that you've chosen, you really don't have to move the cursor for the guess. You can just press enter. and it calculates the x-intercept and tells you the 0 is approximately negative 2.06. So there's 2 more x-intercepts. Let's repeat this process and calculate the next 2. So again, you hit your second button. Above the trace key it says calc, and choose number 2. We're prompted now with left bound again, but this time we want to calculate the next x-intercept. So I'm going to move my cursor over a little bit so that I am just a little bit to the left of the x-intercept that I wish to calculate, and press enter. Now right bound, I'll continue arrowing to the right until I'm to the right of the point that I'm looking to calculate, this x-intercept. And I'll press enter. And then once again, if you wanted to move your cursor on the guess closer to the x-intercept, you could, but you don't have to if there's only one x-intercept in the region that you've chosen. So my second x-intercept is approximately 2.44. And we'll do this one more time. So second calculate, number 2. And now we have quite a bit of arrowing to do, because you can see by these y values as I'm arrowing to the right and my cursor is following along the curve, we know these y values get very, very negative, and then eventually they'll start increasing as we move up the curve. Once again, if you had an idea of where the x-intercept was, you could certainly type it in, or eventually you just keep arrowing and you'll see the cursor. Oh, I passed it. There it is. So I've arrowed and I now can see my cursor. And right now this point is to the left of the x-intercept that I want to calculate. I know that because I'm looking at the y value here. I know I'm negative. And I'll press enter. And then I'll arrow to the right one more. Now don't worry that I can't see the cursor here. I'm paying attention to my x and y values here. I can see that my y value is at 300, so I've now jumped above the x-axis. So therefore I'm to the right of the x-intercept. So it's a very narrow region here. And then press enter for your guess. And you can see that your last x-intercept is about 39.62. And that's how you can use your calculator to calculate x-intercepts using the calculate menu here above the trace key.